What's up everybody, Mythius here, bringing you another video. This will be a part 2 to my first video, and this will be 10 more easy to farm rare mounts in World of Warcraft, so let's jump into it. We're going to kick off this list with the Dragon Soul rare mounts. There are 3 that drop in this instance: Experiment 12B, the Blazing Drake, and the Lifebinder's Handmaiden. You can find Dragon Soul in the Caverns of Time, which is located in Teneris. I suggest taking a portal to the Caverns of Time from Dalaran, or you could just run there, I don't know. Anyways, the first boss you'll be looking at will be Altraxian. Altraxian is the 5th boss in the raid, and he drops Experiment 12B. It is only available on 25-man difficulty, so if you want to get all 3 mounts, you'll have to run it on 25-man heroic, because the Lifebinder's Handmaiden and the Blazing Drake both drop from the Madness of Deathwing. However, the Lifebinder's Handmaiden only drops on heroic. So Experiment 12B only drops on 25-man, Lifebinder's Handmaiden only drops on heroic, and Blazing Drake drops on all difficulties. If you want to maximize mount gains, I'd suggest running it on 25-man heroic, which shouldn't be too difficult, seeing as though we are in Legion, we are 110, and this is old content. So while I was in the process of making this video, I did a Dragon Soul run on heroic 25-man, and needless to say, I would highly recommend you run this on heroic 25-man. Number 7 and number 6 on this list are going to go to the Flametalon Alysrazor and the Pureblood Firehawk, both of which drop from the Firelands, and the Firelands can be found in Mount Hyjal in Kalimdor. The first boss you'll be after in this raid is Alysrazor, and she drops, you guessed it, the Flametalon Alysrazor. The fun thing about this boss is that you can just run in, kill her, and walk out and get your chance at a mount, unless of course you're going for the Pureblood Firehawk, in which you have to clear the entire raid and get to Ragnaros. If this is the case, I would suggest pulling all the ads all the way up to Alysrazor and killing them so that you can spawn Shanix faster. Kind of hit 2 birds with 1 stone. That's what I typically do, but as you might have saw earlier, I tried to pull a few ads, I got knocked off my mount. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. Anyways, this fight is pretty simple, but for newcomers I figure that you might not know what's going on. When she spawns, she'll run across the room towards you, and when she gets to the end, she will fly straight up in the air. All you have to do is do as much damage to her as you can while you're on the ground, pick up 3 feathers, and then you'll have a little air phase and she'll just die instantly. I mean, it's pretty simple. Again, this is old content, and you get a chance at a pretty cool mount. This is the Ragnaros fight in the raid. After you've cleared all the bosses, the way to Ragnaros will be open and you'll be able to kill him and get your chance at another mount. I'm doing it on heroic 25-man just because that's how I've always done it, but I just decided to add this clip in because it's another chance at a mount, but unfortunately it didn't drop for me this time. Number 5 is going to be the Swift White Hawkstrider, which drops from Kael'thas and Magister's Terrace on heroic difficulty. Magister's Terrace is located on the island of Kaldanas, which you can only get to from a portal in Shattrath City. Once you take that portal, as you can see in the video, it is just up there on the top right corner of the island. You run up to the path and you enter the instance on heroic difficulty. Once inside, you make your way to the end of the dungeon and fight Kael'thas. Kael'thas will drop the Swift White Hawkstrider, which drops at about a 3%, which is pretty high, and I would suggest running this. It is a dungeon, so you can run it once every day on heroic difficulty, and you'll have a pretty good chance of getting a new rare mount, especially if you're Alliance, because the Hawkstriders are Blood Elf racial mounts, and you can't have them as Alliance except for this one, so it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. Number 4 on this list is going to the Ravenlord. The Ravenlord drops off of Anzu on heroic difficulty in Sethakals. Sethakals is located in Terracor Forest in the Outlands. It's just on the right side of Auchindoun. This mount is pretty simple to get. You run the instance to the second last boss, which is Anzu, and Anzu has about a 1.6% chance of dropping the mount, so I'd suggest running this on a few characters every day, and it would probably give you a pretty good chance of getting this awesome rare mount. That brings us to number 3 on this list, which is the Grand Black War Mammoth. This mount drops from the Vault of Archivon, which is located in the Fortress of Wintergrasp. You can only run this instance if your faction is controlling Wintergrasp at the time. You can check this by looking at your map and looking at the color of the towers in the zone. They'll either be red or blue. Once you enter the raid, there are 4 bosses, all of which drop the mount. There is no set drop rate on the mounts on Wowhead as of right now, but I remember them being around a 1 to 1.5% drop for all of the bosses, with the Stonewatcher having a slightly higher drop than the other 3. And it is a raid, so it will have a week-long lockout, but it does give you the chance to get a pretty awesome 3-seater ground mount. Number 2 is going to Rivendare's Deathcharger. This mount is located in the Service Gate area of Stratholme. The entrance for this is located in the Eastern Plaguelands just inside the East Wall Gate, located on your map. This dungeon is pretty straightforward. Just kill all the bosses and clear out the little rooms they have behind them and make your way to the last boss. He will have a 0.7% chance to drop the mount, but the great thing about this instance is that the mount drops on normal difficulty. This means you can run it 10 times an hour, which is pretty awesome, although the lockout does span across all characters. One more thing to note about this lockout is that the timer starts from the moment you enter the instance for the first time, so if somehow it takes you 1 hour to complete this dungeon 10 times, which it certainly shouldn't, you can keep running it over and over again. Also, this is a great mount for Alliance players because it is the only skeletal horse that they can ride, apart from the Ghastly Charger. Number 1 on this list is going to the one and only Ashes of Alar. This mount drops from Kael'thas in the Tempest Keep. The Tempest Keep is located in the far right of Netherstorm in the Outland, and 25 mana is the only difficulty, so you don't need to worry about all that bullshit. The raid is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is run straight to the last boss and sit through like 5 minutes of RP, then get your chance at the drop. Ashes is sitting at about a 1% drop on a weekly lockout, so it might need some grinding if you really want to obtain this highly sought after mount. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I've gained quite a few new subs since the last time I posted a video, and I would just like to say thank you to all the new subs and all the positive feedback as of late. I really appreciate it, you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.